Plan to have your own company. Refineries under construction. Lagos State Smart City, Lekki Free Trade Zone, and Lekki Deep Seaport is under construction at Ibeju Lekki International Airport. 60 different Chinese companies, Fort Milan Bridge, Ibeju Lekki ShopRite, and so on. Commercially and industrially, Ibeju Lekki will be great and conducive place for everybody. Come and get your own property at Aspire Heights Realtor. Come directly to our office at H56 57 Ikota Shopping Complex, VGC, Lekki Epe Expressway, Ajah, or call Mr. Adeniyi on this number 09070995466 or 08052894614. Aspire Heights Realtor says get your properties at affordable prices. Yeah. Aspire Heights Realtor is here for me. Oh, yes. Everybody listening, real estate and land agents with 100% guarantee. Aspire Heights Realtor, now you be baba. Oh yes, buy land, buy house, lease and rent houses or land with ease at Ibeju Lekki and its environs at Aspire Heights Realtor at affordable and reasonable price. We have estates in different places: Arium Estate, Abidjan Lekki, Green Island Lekki, Royal Flex Estate Lekki, Peninsula Home Phase 2 Lekki, Royal Flex Estate Phase 3 Lekki. All this and more are our estates with good roads, maximum security, buildings with good structure and well planned. And as far as Ibeju Lekki have good future, you too can come and plan to have your own company. Refineries under construction. Lagos State Smart City, Lekki Free Trade Zone, and Lekki Deep Seaport is under construction at Ibeju Lekki International Airport. 60 different Chinese companies, Fort Milan Bridge, Ibeju Lekki ShopRite, and so on. Commercially and industrially, Ibeju Lekki will be great and conducive place for everybody. Come and get your own property at Aspire Heights Realtor. Come directly to our office at H56 57 Ikota Shopping Complex, VGC, Lekki Epe Expressway, Ajah, or call Mr. Adeniyi on this number 09070995466 or 08052894614. Aspire Heights Realtor says get your
of Business Surgery. This is Noble Television. Today our topic today is effect of election on businesses. How does the election influence businesses? What do they have? What effect do they have on the businesses? What do the business owner, what can they do in order for them to have a successful business during election period, during time of political issues? And when you talk about political issues, it actually affects businesses a lot, especially when it comes to election. So today our topic is effect of election on businesses. How does it actually affect the businesses? So that's what we're going to talk about today. So stay tuned and listen. They see how you what actually you're going to take from this, because you might think, okay, businesses have nothing to do with election. This is political. But when it comes to political issues, analysts, strategies, they put that into consideration. They take that into consideration. Welcome, everyone. I know you're back from the snow period. I know you're back from all the cold and everything we've gone through in the last week. It was a really challenging week, but we managed to get through. And we're going to do business. But I am going to talk about effect of business. How can politics or election affect your business? Good or bad? It has good effect, it has good bad ones. So don't worry, we're going to talk about this. Share this video. I'm not going to be able to invite everyone, but share this video and let's stay tuned and see how what we're going to get out of it and what we need to know. Because this is about voting. When you're going to vote, you need to vote for the right person. Because if you vote for the right person, whosoever is there can actually influence how you do your business, how you operate your business. So that's what we're going to actually talk about, how this can affect it. Do you know how? Do you know what it would do? Whoever you elect, whoever you select. Do you know what they will actually do to your businesses, how it will affect your businesses, how it will affect your growth, the sales and other things, how it will affect your marketing plan? So we're going to talk. And this is just a good time because right now, this Wednesday actually is going to be the 7th of March is going to be Sierra Leone election. So I'm going to use them as a case studies. Don't worry, stay tuned and let's see how this can affect anything or anyone. Because political, when you talk about this, you talk about pest analysis. You might think, oh, that's not business. No, it's business. Strategists take it into consideration. Business analysis take it into consideration. So we have to take it into consideration. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a small business owner, whosoever you are or whatsoever you do, that is business. You need to think. That's why they say we are all political beings. Every human being, because you buy. If you don't sell, you will buy. So it will affect you. So now we're going to talk about pest analysis. We're going into strategy now. Business strategy, that's where I'm going to take it today. And let's talk about politics. Who are you voting for? Does your vote count? Welcome everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Welcome Nina, welcome Bernard, welcome Imbalu, welcome everyone that is watching this program, because we're talking today about effect of election on businesses. We want to know how it can affect it. We talk about pest analysis. When you talk about pest analysis or pastel, because it depends on how you're going to talk about it or how you're going to look at it, that would determine. These are abbreviations, acronyms that they put together. And when you talk about it, you talk about political. Pest analysis is actually concept. These are concepts you use to analyze your business, for you to know what you need to do, what laws that control your business, what are the rules, what are the strategies that you need to put in place, what are your marketing plan, how can you walk about with it and run your business effectively. And when we talk about this, we actually need to see what you're going to do. This election, Sierra Leone election in particular, how will it affect your business? If you were in Sierra Leone, if you're in Nigeria, how will Nigeria election affect your business? In UK, the last time we were voting about Brexit, how does it affect your business? Because it actually can affect your business. It can actually affect your business, and then you might think, what do I need? What do I need to do? There are lots of uncertainty right now because of the election. There are a lot of things that will not be put into place. People are worried about inflation legislation when they vote someone in. What are they going to do? What have they done? And what will they do? And if we change let's say we change the party in power, the ones that are coming in, what do they know? What are they going to do? That's why election is not a practicing board. when it comes to power, power is not a practicing board. We're not here to campaign, but we're here to talk about election. Welcome, team. Welcome to this program. Thank you very much for watching. How can it affect? Because when you talk about pastel, you talk about political, economical, social, technology, environmental, and legal. So when you look at it, you look at this aspect. Most of it are politically generated. Most of it have political influence. Who is the government? Who is actually in power? Which party is in power? How do they operate in the country? What do they do? How will the legislation they're going to put? Will it affect the way people buy? Will it affect people going down there? Will it affect investment? It does affect investment. It does affect buying powers. So when you talk about things that are political, political is number one. When analysts want to analyze businesses, the business environment, the first thing they think about is political. They think, what kind of government do they have? Is it a government that will actually encourage foreigners? Do they encourage investors? How do they operate? If I want to go and do business in that location, how will I operate? So that's why your vote count. Who are you going to vote in? Who are you going to select? Who are you going to nominate that day when you're going to write or tick in that ballot paper? Actually, it will determine how your business will operate. Welcome Cherry, welcome to this program, welcome Zainab to this program. It will actually determine how your country is going to be run, how your business is going to be run. You might think, oh, it's just election, it's just about who is ruling. No, but it will determine the revenue you're going to bring in. The question people ask, what's the political, when you're actually doing analyzing the environment or the country you went to go and invest in, the country you went to go and do your business in, you first of all ask, what's the political situation in that ground? Is there any issues there? How do they operate? What's the barrier to entering? You're going to think about that. Is there any issue? Is it going to be a free and fair election? Will the incumbents leave if they don't win? If they win, what will happen? Is there going to be instability? Is there going to be uncertainty? These are the things you look for. These are the things people take into consideration when they do business. So sometimes we might think election, will business profit? Because if you look at the way people are rallying now, people are leaving their work, people are leaving things to go and rally. Who is paying for that? Are the business profiting? People are closing down their shops. Because if the business, if you've got a retail store, you're not going to open, you don't know whether people that are rallying are going to go storm your place and things like that. So it actually have a great effect on businesses. Election have a great effect on businesses because your workers have their own rights too. So there are a lot of things that you need to take in place. The current legislation, because when you talk about political, the current legislation down there, you're going to think, what's the rules? What exactly going to happen if they change the government, government in place? If they change the new people that are coming, that's what will actually bring uncertainty. Whosoever is coming in, do they know what they're doing? If they do know what they're doing, how are they going to make the life better? Because when you talk about political and when you talk about pastel, you talk about how you can improve the development, how you can improve the revenue in the country. You hear people talking about GDP. How can you improve your own GDP, which actually is called gross domestic production? But how can you how can you improve it? That is, you talk about what the country buy and what the country sell. Basically, those are the things. How can you improve those kind of things? But politics, if analysts and strategists don't think politics have effect on businesses, they will not look into it. So we should know that politics have a great effect on our businesses. And how we should know that is by knowing who are you going to vote for, how are you going to vote, your vote count, it actually matters. Choose the right person, choose the right government, because it will determine how your business will work, it will determine the investment, it will determine who can come and invest in your country, how can they invest, with the, it will actually determine, welcome Dominic, welcome Zainab, thank you very much for watching all the way from America, welcome Richie, Pastor Richie, welcome, thank you very much for watching us, we're happy you're all joining us, because it will determine what exactly is going to happen with your currency. Are they going to make new laws about money coming in and money going out? What the laws about money laundering? What the barriers to entering? So these are the things we'll take into consideration. If you're going to vote, your vote count. Use it wisely. Vote for the right person. Vote for the right government, because that will determine what you need to do in your business, because they can determine the tax law. There are a lot of things that you need to put in place when you're going to do business. So you need to know what's the environmental issues, and environmental issues actually come back to political issues, because when you talk about environmental issues, you talk about things like climate change, you talk about things like pollution, you talk about rules for the environment, cleanliness, sanity, health. The government actually will be responsible for all those decisions. They will be responsible for all those political planning, all those strategical planning in place. They put it in place. They put it in order. So when you do things like that, you actually need to know what you're doing. Who are you voting for? Who do you want in power? Will they be able to make the right decisions? Will they have the right expertise to do the work that is ahead of them for the next 5 years? Because when we talk about elections, sometimes we look at election as a one-day thing. Election is a one-day thing, but it's actually a 5-day, it's actually a 5-year program. You use 1 day to select someone is actually going to govern you for 5 years. So do it wisely. Choose wisely. Welcome, Noble Police. Thank you very much for joining. Welcome, Karen. Welcome, Petrina. Thank you very much. And I hope you're enjoying this program, because we need to know the environmental issues. All right, then. Thank you for watching, for leaving your assignment. Thank you very much, Noble Police. Thank you. We're glad you can watch it. Thank you very much. And we'll talk about the environmental issues. Is there sanity in the place? Is the place clean? Do they have the right health system? Will they put in place the right health system? What are we doing? How are they doing it? You need to know. So your vote counts. And if your vote counts, it actually matters to you. How are you going to do things? Who are you going to put in place? Are we putting the right people in place? So we want to know. Welcome, Sunny. Welcome, sir. How are you? Welcome. So we need to know how we're going to put this. What do you need to do? Because we need to talk, when we talk about the pastel analysis or past analysis, what do you need to do? When it comes to things like economical, you talk about inflation, tax rate, the value. Right now, as I told you earlier on, I was going to use Sierra Leone as our focus point, because they have an election soon. So that's why I'm going to use them. We talk about exchange rate. Right now, the pounds to leones is actually 1 pound to 10,000 leones. Will it go down? Will it drop? Will it increase? Will it increase? Because we need to know all these things. We need to know all these things. Who are you voting for? How are you going to vote? Vote wisely. See what people have done. What will they do? Will they do it any better? How will it be? How will it improve? So that's what we need to know. We talk election divide. One other, the biggest thing. When it comes to election, political analysts say it divides the community. Because people are supporting different parties. Like in my country, I think they've got more than 8 political parties. And if you've got more than 8, that means people have been divided into 8 parts in the country. Let's look at the fraction. Let's work basic math. As that song says, I'm not hot, eh? It says basic math. 2 plus 2 is 4 minus 1, eh? It's 3. So that's the thing. Let's work basic math. If you have a fraction, you have 8 parties and you divide it. So it's 1/8, basically. That's how the country actually have been divided into. Election divide people. You need to think wisely. We're looking at election. It's just one day. After we finish the election, we have ourselves to come to. You will need someone as a customer. You will need someone to do business to sell to buy to. If you have fought those people during the election, will they still be your customer? Will they still be your client? Will you still go and buy in their shop? Are you welcome there? Because you know sometimes when they say election, people do lots of things. During campaign, people violate rules. Will you be banned to go into certain shops, into certain areas because you've misbehaved during election? So tell me, how are you going to do? What do you think about it? Because when you're doing business to profit. Are you going to make profit after election, after you've divided everyone, after you fought with everyone because of election? Who is going to buy to you? Let's say you've got a restaurant, and because of election, when people were coming there to drink or to eat, you're insulting them because maybe they're in a different party or they're supporting a different political party, and you might think, okay, what do I need to do? I know people are complaining in lots of countries. Other countries, when they have election, they're complaining. People fight. People do other things. Sometimes they're violent there. Fluctuation. How are things fluctuating? Are things going up? Currency. Now we're thinking, this actually leads to a gain to uncertainty. Fluctuation. Currency will increase or decrease. Now the value of loans is at this rate now. So if we look at it in another way, it might be that because of election, it will go up after the election, depending on the result, depending on who wins, depending on who is going to stay and who is going to go. That will determine, that's why your vote counts. So that will actually determine how things are going to work, how the currency is going to fluctuate. Is it going to stay the same? Is it going to increase or is it going to reduce? Are we going to reduce the rate at which we pay? Customer, one other thing that election can affect when we're talking about political. I'm not going to go into the social, economical, and technical and legal side of it. I'm coming there. Some of them I will speak about it at that same moment. Some of them I will just touch into it and tell you how it is. But when it comes to political, we're on political because we're talking about election, and election actually determine mostly. Actually, it will talk about technology. Don't worry, we're coming to the whole pastel. Don't worry. Fluctuation, we've talked about. The currency, is money going to go up? Are things going to increase? Let's say the price of rice. People eat rice, like Sierra Leone, their staple food is rice. People eat rice. Will the bag of rice increase before and after election? Will it decrease? How much is it going to cost? Is the amount they're selling it right now, is it affordable? Who is going to make money? Well, you know the funny thing, when it comes to uncertainty in country, instability in country, do you know who profit? The business people. Because business people, that's the time for them to cash in. That's the time they cash in. The moment here's instability, they raise prices up, increase prices of rice, increase prices of other commodities like oil, every other thing. Fuel will go up. It will increase. So when it comes to things, you need to know how you're going to vote. Vote wisely. Let there be no violence in your election, because if there's violence, things will increase. If there are violence in the election, people will business people will profit anyway. But some will actually lose, depending if there's looting, they will lose. So that's why, as I'm saying, your vote matters, your vote count. Consumer confidence. Will your consumer, will the people that you do business with, do they have confidence in that environment, in that location? Because you're going to think about it like the country. When you talk about business, it's your business environment. It's not just you as an individual, the industry, the environment, the country. When you talk about your business, all these affect your business. So you need to look at it. Consumer confidence. Do people have confidence to go and invest in your business? Do people have confidence to go and invest in your country? Because the more people that invest, the more money can rotate and circulate well. Do people have that confidence? Will consumer confidence decrease or increase when it comes to election? If you have anything you want to say about this, just type it down and we'll be able to answer you. Will people have that confidence to do it? How will they, what will they do? Will they, will stock, because people are thinking, right now you see, if you hear from Sierra Leone, as I'm using Sierra Leone election as a case study, if you hear from Sierra Leone, right now you see people asking for money, say, oh, can you send money in? Can you send money in? I want to buy food. We want to buy food to stock in. That is actually reducing consumers' confidence, because they don't have confidence in the market. They're thinking, okay, things might increase or things might decrease. So they're asking for money to store things at home. And when things happen like that, goods and services are going to run out. People are going to short of supplies, like fuel, the basic commodities are going to be short in the market. Because people are going to stop thinking, we don't know what will happen tomorrow. They are uncertain about the situation, about the election. So make the election a peaceful one, make it a good one, make it in a way that you will be able to vote. Make it in a way that you will be able to vote. So, will goods be sufficient? When it comes to election, consumer actually, they're going to be thinking, will there be sufficient goods in the market? So they're going to be running to buy, and that will affect the businesses, because people will run out because they've got stock level, and businesses will run out of it. When it comes to business and election, there is going to be relationship uncertainty, because there's going to be relationship reshuffle. Every minister have their pet project. Every minister have project or things that they do. They have businesses that they favor in their own industry. Every minister have people that they favor in their industry. So when it comes to things like that, you need to know how you're going to do it. What are you going to do? If the government changes, it will definitely affect that industry, because the minister that might be in that industry will be a different person, so the regulations will change, the project will change, they might bring up new things, as people are saying, oh, if I win the election, I'll be able to do this project and this project. If I win the election, I will welcome, thank you very much for watching. If I win the election, I will be able to actually invest on this project. We were watching the women debate in Sierra Leone, and people were talking about women projects. They were talking, everyone is coming up to say, okay, if we win the election, we might put more women, we might do more women mentoring. These are projects. So determine who is going to win. That will determine what kind of project is run in the country, what kind of project is run, what kind of business, charity, relationship, projects for businesses will operate in that country. So when it comes to things like that, you need to know, who are you going to vote in? How are you going to do their vote? So that's what you need to know. You need to know, they all have things that businesses that they support. They have their own favorite. They have their own favorite in the industry. Will your business be affected because you have political affiliation, because you have political interest? Will your business be affected because of that? Send me your question if you have anything. Welcome, Mr. Simon. Thank you very much for watching. Oritha, welcome. Thank you very much for watching. Will your business be affected because of that? How will it be affected? When it comes to political, that's why it's actually the top of pastel on business analysis. When you're doing your environment, your marketing principle, how to use it, how to analyze your environment for business operation. You need to know technology. The party in power, whosoever you're going to elect right now, will determine what kind of technology. Are they going to improve technology in the place? Because if technology is good, people, you can do like online business. You can buy and sell online. You can actually do businesses online and do things online. So what will you do? How will you do it? Are they going to improve technology? How are you going to do it? What will you do? Will they bring new things like digital marketing? Will they bring things like e-businesses, e-projects like e-forms and other things that you do online? How are they going to do it? How are they going to do it? So people need to know. People need to know, who are you going to vote in power? Which kind of party, whosoever is governing you, the party in power will determine how your business runs, because they will determine rules and regulations. They will actually be able to determine the tax. Whosoever you vote in will determine the taxes, and they will determine what are we going to do. How can they influence it? Because when you talk about this, the party will actually determine how your country develops economically. And when you talk about economic things, you talk about the rules. What kind of tax laws are they going to come up with? The tax laws, tax duties, stamp duties, what are they going to do? Which one are they going to eradicate and which one are they going to increase? Which one are they going to eradicate and which one are they going to increase? So how will they do it? How will they do it? Are they going to make monetary policies? What kind of monetary policies are we going to bring up? What kind of policies are we going to bring up? How are you going to do it? Which regulations are they going to bring? As we're talking about monetary policy, are they going to print more money in? How are they going to make for the economy to grow? What kind of development are they going to use for the country to develop, for your businesses? Because if the country develops, your business will develop. Are they going to pump money in to say, okay, we want things like small businesses? We need to improve small businesses. We need more people to start up their own businesses. We need more startup small businesses, so we need to invest more on businesses. We need to invest more on training for the companies. How are you going to do it? Who are you going to bring in? They will determine, economically, they will determine if economic impact on businesses. Economy have a great impact on businesses. Are there investors? Do they have, when we talk about investors, in countries like Sierra Leone, they have mineral resources. How are you going to use those mineral resources? Is it going to work for the benefit of the people? Are they going to use it in a way that these people will be able to manage it well? The party in power will determine it. What's the tax rate are they going to put on the mineral resources? Import and export, stamp duties, what are they going to use and how are they going to use it? What are they going to do? You need to know. You need to know inflation, because they will determine, are we going to reduce the inflation rate? How will it work? How are people going to spend money? We talk about pastor, we're talking about pastor. We're talking about legal aspect. Legal aspect, they determine which law to make. Are the judicial system good? Because you need to know, if you don't have a good judicial system, if something happen or someone owe you or someone have to pay you or your business go into liquidation, how will it work? How will it operate? These are the things, these are the factors you need to put into place when you're thinking about election, when you're thinking about voting. Who are you going to vote in? Are we going to have the right people in? Your vote counts. So think about it. Think about what have the current government, what have they done? Have they been doing well? Oh yeah, they built roads, they built schools, they built universities. Is that improving the economy? They've brought in investors, lots of investors. So will that improve the economy, or do they need to do more? Or do they need someone else to do it, or someone else can do it better than them? That is not my case to determine. It's your case to determine. Who do you want to rule your country? Because whosoever governs your country will actually determine how successful your business is. The laws they're going to make, the agreement, the contract, certain contract they will make will determine, is the contract favorable to foreigners, or is contract favorable to people, local people? These are the laws you need to think. These are the factors you need to look at when you're electing someone, because you need to think about your business. Will my business grow? Buying powers. When you talk about economy, you talk about buying powers. How will it go? That will lead me to another concept of this great person. When we talk about, we were talking about Pastel and Porter's 5 forces, they're all from the same person, Michael Porter, who actually says, let me quote one thing from it. It says, understanding your microeconomy. It says, understanding your microenvironment is essential for development of your strategy. Because if you don't understand your environment, if you don't understand, your environment will determine, part of your environment includes you. When we talk about business environment, we talk about stakeholders, and the government is part of the stakeholders in your business. You might think, how is government part of my stakeholder? I am the only one that have shares. Yes, you might be the only one that have shares in your business, but their decision influence your business. Their decision influence how you operate. That will lead me to another concept, business concept, which we talk about, Porter's 5 forces. If you're doing business, definitely you should know about Porter's 5 forces, because you have to analyze these things. You have to analyze your business. You need to know which environment am I operating. How can I compete in the business? What can I do in the business? Porter's 5 forces talks about it's like a 5 segment. We talk about buying powers, how people spend, people that are buying things, how do they spend? The government will determine, because the rules and regulations they make, how people are having money, is there employment in the country? Do they have more businesses? Do they have more jobs? Are they creating jobs? Are they creating business opportunities in the countries? That will determine how people can buy. If you have job, you'll be able to buy. If you have business, you'll be able to buy. Basically, how do you get money in and money out? That's your buying power. It affects your business. If people can buy your product, then you will be able to make money. And that's why you're doing business, for you to make money. And for you to make money, basically, you need to sell. Election will determine how you sell. Trust me, don't get me wrong, it will determine. You might think it's just one day. That one day counts. So if you've registered, if you're in Sierra Leone, you've registered to vote, go and vote. Go vote and vote wisely. Vote for the right person. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but vote for the right person. Make a wise decision. Suppliers' power. How do people supply goods and services? Election one will determine it. Do they have enough goods and services right now in present in the country? How are you going to operate with doing it? Barriers to entering. That's part of Porter's 5 forces. Good. The government in power, or whosoever is ruling the country, basically, will actually determine your barriers to entry. They will say, sometimes you might be in a country where anyone can just buy and sell, anyone can just come and do business, anyone can just start any business without no questioning. Is that what is operating in your country? You need to know, with barrier to entry, they might say certain industry have got certain rules and regulations, certain amount, or if you are if you have a particular origin, you might not be able to do certain business. If you have got certain amount of money, you have to invest certain amount of money for you to start certain business. Because in some industry, there are some things that you might need to put in place. Do they have regulation that will ban you? Do they have regulation that will actually make you to be able to operate well, for you to be able to operate successfully? Because we're talking about business here. We're talking about the business environment. And part of the business environment, for you to run a business well, you have to analyze internal and external. And if you want to analyze your external factors, which is actually your macro, which is actually the bigger one than the micro. Macro is external and is bigger. You hear the word mac. Micro is internal and it's actually the smaller part. The things that you can control, the controllable aspect of your business, that's the macro. So you have to think about it. And when it comes to your micro environment, which talks about your political aspect, which talk about your Potter's five forces, these are things that you can't determine. It's determined by external factors. And one of the biggest factor or influential in that area is your government. They have power over that. They have power over your barriers to entry. They can put rules and regulations which are favorable or not favorable to that industry. So we need to know. If you have anything to say about it, put your comment down and we'll answer. If you have any question, put your comment down and I will be able to answer that question. So we need to know. You need to let us know. When it comes to things like that, you need to look at it. You need to analyze your business well before operating in a certain industry, in a certain country. But election can impact on your business. So vote wisely, select the right person. Think about all these factors that we're putting into place, and we're saying competitive rivalry. Basically, for you to compete in the industry with one another, not with the government, with one another, for you to do your business well, for you to have operational excellence in right information, technology. If your technology is right, if you have good technology, good infrastructures in place, you will be able to get in the right data. With business will operate with data. Business operates with funds, with money. Are there enough funds pumping into the country? Threats to subsidy goods. I'm not going to go into that. Are there like Chinese goods, so much Chinese goods in the place? So maybe it might be good. Maybe it might be bad. It depends how you look at it. If you're looking for maybe quality, you might look at it like if the Chinese goods are not good. If you're looking for quantity, then you might think, yes, they're good. They're alternate goods. You look at it in that way. Alternate goods, how are you going to use it? What are the alternate products that we have in the country? How are you going to vote? Election can determine a lot. Because when it comes to election, it will show you that you need to vote wisely. You need to select who you choose. Because for the 5 years that you are going to select that party that is going to govern you, they're going to determine all these things that we're talking about. It might look like a small thing. It might look like, oh, it doesn't matter. But it does matter, because someone that is actually going to talk about your tax, someone that is going to talk about legislation, your social activities, what and what do they have? Economical factors, political factors. You need to know about these things. How does it influence my business? How does it affect my business? Like now, the people are going to on parade. The consumer have their own right, and they can determine whether they can go and buy to you or not to buy to you. There are goods that we sell right now. Some businesses will make money during this election, but some will not make money. And the ones that are making money might be people that are selling things like food, drinks, beverages. They'll sell a lot. Certain commodities, clothes might sell, but because they're wearing t-shirt to campaign, it might not sell that much. So that's why you need to determine, what am I going to sell? Is this the right season for me to go and open a new company? Is it the right season for me to go and open a new factory in a particular location? When you look at external investors, like you look at people, let's say from Britain and USA, they, at this point in time, they will hold investment. They will not invest in certain country. If your country is going on election, they will hold it. Stock market will go into freeze if your country matters. Because the election will determine how are my goods going to sell. Is things going to go down? Maybe if they if on their manifesto they've said certain things that they're not going to operate, people are going to watch who's going to win. Because if that person win and they said, oh, we're not going to allow this particular goods to operate or this particular industry to function, then basically it will actually affect it. Because who wins matters. So your vote matters, your vote counts. Go and vote. If you've registered to vote, go there, vote and select the right person. When we talk about things like this, we're going to, when you talk about election, on election day, you're going to vote. But you, as a business person, you're going to vote because you're going to have the right political affiliation. Because you know, I put that person in there. That's how you're going to get a political affiliation. You know you voted for that person. You know you voted for the right person. They're going to make the right decisions for you. You cannot control that. There are things you cannot control in life. It's not even a risk. Sometimes you might think that's a risk. That's not a risk. You cannot control that. That's part of their work. That's part of their governing power. That's what they're meant to do. Socially, are they bringing the right things in? Are we having the right the amenities that we need? Is everything that is supposed to work in the place or in the country, is it working the way it should work? How will it operate? How will it operate? Are we actually doing the right things? Because when it comes to things like this, we talk about 5 forces, Potter's 5 forces. We talk about suppliers' power. People that are supplying you, are they going to be able to travel with their goods from one location to another? Do they have the right goods available at this moment? Do they have what you need, what you want? How are you going to operate? How are you going to get it? Because when it comes to election, during and after election, maybe they might close things like borders will be shut, new regulations are going to come out. Are they going to be favorable for your businesses? Do you have a big business? Is it a charity you have? Is it actually a small business you have? Is it a limited company you have, a partnership, sole trader? What are the rules that are going to come out? How are you going to operate? How are you going to function when it comes to things like that? How are you going to function? How are you going to operate? Because Michael Porter said, for you to run business well, you need to understand your macro environment. That means outside, your surrounding, basically. We use those words carelessly, my surrounding. Yes, it's your surrounding, your business surrounding, your business environment. Because it has all to do with your business. How you're going to make profit will determine who come and buy and who come and sell. Do they have enough money in the country? Are there enough jobs? How can they get, do they do businesses? Are there enough businesses for people to buy? So, well, some countries, there's not enough job, but still they're spending power. Lots of people have money. Is it money for across, or is it just on a particular set of people? Do they have a particular set of people? If you want to join in this program, let me know and then we'll add you in. And if you want to comment, just let us know and we will do. If you have any question to ask, thank you very much, Mr. Simon. Thank you very much, our own noble police. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Sene. Did I pronounce the name right? Odabia. Hope I am not going to be fined. Hope I pronounce the name right. Kike, thank you very much. Keep watching, keep doing your assignment. You pass, don't worry, by grace of God. And with flying colors. Thank you, team. Thank you very much. All the ones that are watching me, thank you very much for watching. I can't see all the people that are watching me now, but thank you very much, because we want to. You need to know. Even we, I was using Sierra Leone as a case study, but I can even talk about like Nigeria. Who are you going to vote in? Who are you going to vote in? The people that are there, are they the ones you want? Are they doing the right thing? Because when it comes to things that are wow, actually I've triggered in my brain, which is talking about change. In my country, they're talking about change. I'll give you an example. I'm not saying I'm not making decision for people whether you should change or you shouldn't change. That is not my decision. That is not my task here. My task is to educate you about how business will impact, how election will impact on your business. Let me repeat it again. How will election impact on your business? My tax is not I'm not here to campaign. I'm not here to tell you who to vote for or who not to vote for. That is not my job at the moment. At the moment, I am only telling you what are the factors you need to look at. How will it affect your business? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a small business owner? Because sometimes people think there's a difference between small business and entrepreneur, basically. Because if you're not innovating something, you're not creating something, you're not an entrepreneur, you're a small business owner, depending on what you're doing. Do you have a big company? Is it a charity you're running? What kind of business you're running? But whosoever you elect, whosoever is in power, will determine how your business functions. It will determine how your business operates. You might have all your strategy. That's why strategy will sit down, they'll look at what is going on in the environment, what is going on in our surrounding. I just made reference to Brexit. We were all saying we want to leave. But when, after the election are finished, we voted, most people, they voted out. No, I voted in. But most people voted out. They were saying they want to go. But after the election, what happened? Because there's a saying which says, the angel you know is better than the devil you don't know. No, the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. Because the person you know, sometimes you might think the one you know is bad. Yeah? You might think the person you know, the one you know is bad, or the party in power is bad. What about the new person? Is there certainty? There's uncertainty because you don't know anything. You don't know how they're going to operate. But the ones that are there, you know how they've operated. You know what they've done. You know the development they've brought in. You know what their connection. You know how things are operating when they're there. You know how they've been doing it. Okay, sometimes it might be good to bring new people, but as I'm saying, it's not my place to tell you who to bring or who to use. But I'm just telling you, vote wisely. Pray, speak to God. God speak to you when it comes to things like that, you know. You know, in the days when, God used to choose rulers, they used to call them judges in the Bible. In the days when God used to choose rulers, and people were governed well, but you know, with the same people, they keep complaining. God, this person you're giving, this one is to this one is to that, right? And then God decided, okay, I'll leave you to select your own king. So was ordained by God. They were king. They have judges, they have rulers, they have kings. In those days, they were actually elected by God. God will say, go anoint David, go anoint this one. God say, go anoint Saul, go anoint David. When God was choosing, things used to be good. People were complaining, but it's not this way that we are all complaining. When we start choosing, hey, let's make up our mind. Let's seek the face of God and ask God, who do you want to rule us? Who do you want to govern us? Who will be the right person? Let's all start being intercessor for our countries. Let's all start praying for our country to see how. Yes, my own very boss, Mr. Noble, said, vote wisely. Yes, it is important to vote wisely. Yes, so it is very important for them to vote wisely. Because if you vote wisely, you will select the right person. When God was choosing, he was selecting the right person. God never make a mistake. So pray. It says we normally say we are wonderfully and fearfully made. We are made in the image of God. Pray for us to get that kind of heart, for us to select the right person, so that they can do well, so that they can function well. Because if they function well, if we have a better government, we have a better country. If we have a better country, we have a better life. if we have a good, that will make we have a good political system, we'll have a good economical system, we'll have a very good social system. You'll be able to go down on holidays more frequently. You will be able to have a better legal system, because the person you elect will determine how the country operates legally. Basically, when it comes to things like that, it will determine how does the country operate. Technologically, how does it operate? So you will be able to know what and what do you do? How does it work? Who are you going to elect? Tell me, if you're brave enough, tell me who you're going to elect. If you're brave enough, and maybe you're from Sierra Leone, tell me who you're going to elect. If you're even from Nigeria, your election is coming soon, I think in 2 years or 3 years more. Tell me, who do you want for your next president in Nigeria? In Sierra Leone, tell me, if you're from Sierra Leone, wherever you're from, tell me, who do you want to rule the country? Wherever you are, whether you're in Britain, election is coming soon. Who do you want to rule? Let me know. If you are brave enough, just type it in. We don't mind. We're able to see. So when it comes to election, you need to vote wisely, because you get a better legal system, free and fair system. Because when it comes to country, you need a law that, you know, I can walk out now and know that I'm safe. I can walk. You know, sometimes I walk in the street, sometimes 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, because I know I'm safe. I know no one is going to kidnap me. Can you walk in your country safe and you know nothing is going to happen? Are there no violence? Are the rules and regulations right? Vote wisely when it comes to that. When it comes to Michael Porter, people actually leave the first name and they just call it Porter Five Forces. Yeah? Michael Porter told you about suppliers' power, competitive rivalry, threat of substitute goods, buyers' power. All these are determined by the government, because the rules and regulations they made will influence that decision, and that decision will influence how you buy, the people that comes and buy to you, the people that sell to you, how you operate in business. So that's exactly how we're talking about, or what we're talking about. So we need to know, we need to vote wisely, we need to determine the right government. We're talking about change. Like in my country, they have like 3 new or 4 new parties which have come up with change. Do you need a change? Is it the right time to change? Is it the government that you need to change, or is it the people's mindset you need to change? Is it the attitudinal changes they need? Is their attitude, or is it a political change you need? If it's a political change you need, are you going to put in the right person? Because it's not like we need to remove this one and put this. It's not Tintan 2. There's a game they used to play in my country, they call it Tintan 2. You move this one here, you put this here, you put that one here. It's not like that. Politics is not Tintan 2. Because, as we were saying, it's a one-day election, but it lasts for 5 years. Are you regretting it? Is it like some people were in America? Are you going to vote? Because let's bring things like in America. Lots of people were saying they want Hillary, but they couldn't vote. They can talk on the media, they talk outside. You want to elect Bernie? Don't worry. Maybe in the next 5 or 10 years I will contest for election. Don't worry. But right now, I'll be doing business and helping people to grow their own business and motivate them. Maybe mentoring and other things, but not election, not this year. Don't worry. Thank you very much. At least you've made my day. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Simon. But when you talk about things, when you talk about election, when you're going to vote, who you're going to vote in, how you're going to vote them in. I am going to go on a 5-minute break, 2 minutes break, not 5 minutes break. I'm going to go on a 2-minute break and I'll be back with you shortly.
Hola.
Thank you. This is Business Surgery. My name is Bernadette Aburu. Welcome to this program, and I hope you're enjoying it. You're watching us live from Noble Television and Noble People's Magazine. Thank you very much, viewer, once again, wherever you're viewing from. Thank you, and we hope you were enjoying this program. Welcome, Chrissy. Welcome, Adebayo. Welcome, Simon. Whosoever is watching us, welcome to this program. Welcome back, and we hope you enjoying it. If you want us to add you into this program, let us know. If you're live online, you just want to give your contribution about election. You might not live in Sierra Leone, but wherever you are, maybe you just want to talk about, give your own opinion, how you think this one, it will operate. What effects does election have on businesses? Whatever your view, tell me what you think. It's your opinion. We're not going to tell you you're right or you're wrong. Whatever you think, say it. I'm going to add a viewer here, so we're going to see, and she's going to give us her view. Let me see if I'm going to be able to add her. Hello. I'm going to add Miss Yetunde. I'm not able to get her. Hello. Okay. Yes, let me see who is live. Also, if you want to give your view, we can add it in. Just let me know, then we can add it in into this program. Because we're talking about effect of business election on businesses. Hello, hello, hello. Let me see if I can be able to use this other phone and do it.
Properties at affordable prices. Yeah. Aspire Hydroton is here for me. Oh, yes. Everybody listening, oh. Real estate and land agents with 100% guarantee. Aspire Hydroton, now you be baba. Oh yes, buy land, buy house, lease and rent houses or land with ease at Ibejuleki and its environs at Aspire Hydroton at affordable and reasonable price. We have estates in different places: Arium Estate, Abidjan, Lekki, Green Island, Lekki, Royal Flex Estate, Lekki, Peninsula Home Phase 2, Lekki, Royal Flex Estate Phase 3, Lekki. All this and more are our estates with good roads, maximum security, buildings with good structure and well planned.
What you think about this? Let's just see what you think about it, about election and how election can influence, what influence it has on your business. It definitely have a very strong impact on your business. So election will determine, it will determine whosoever you elect, whosoever you put or you vote in, your vote count and your vote matters. Whosoever you vote in, whosoever you elect, will determine how your business operates. Because when we talk about pastel or pest analysis, whichever way you look at it, we call it, because pest is a concept which people use for marketing principles, actually. But you analyze your environment, you analyze how your business will operate, which environment, which industry. That's how you're going to do it. You talk about the political analysis. When you talk about it, you look at who is in power. What's the political situation in the country? Is it stable or is it unstable? Do you see uncertainty in it? Are you going to, have you predict violence, or is it going to be peaceful? We actually will pray that it's going to be peaceful. Economic, the government as well determine the economical factors of the country. The government will determine, do we want to freeze inflation rate? Do we want to increase it or decrease it? What's the lowest rate of inflation in your country? You need to determine that. So when you vote wisely, because whosoever is in power will determine all those details. Because you might think it's a bank, but they you've got people who will actually talk, you've got ministers, you've got things, people that will actually, experts who will actually sit down and decide, what do we need to do? Do we need to increase inflation? Does inflation rate need to stay the same? It will be determined by your central bank, but the government will tell the central bank what to do. How are you going to make it? You see things like we have a day here in UK which we call the day for the budget, which the minister will come and read, the Minister of Finance will come and read the budget. The Minister of Finance is actually voted in, is part of the people you're going to vote in, because you voted the party, and they will select a Minister of Finance. What are the budget principles? What are the factors? What if they are in stock for you? How are they going to manage it? Socially, do they have the right things? Do they have the right infrastructure? Schools, these kind of things to give you better education? We're looking for this type of things. Technical. What kind of technology do you have in your country? Do you need a better system? Do you need better technology? Because we're in 21st century. We don't need yesterday or 20th century or 19th century technology. We need a better technology. Whatever, whether they call it a third world country, wherever you are, you need a better government, a stable government who knows what they're doing, not government who is coming to learn on the job. It's not a work experience. When it comes to political parties, it's not like somewhere where you come and get work experience. You need to get people who are experienced, people who know what they're doing. People who've been there, they've been on the job, they've done the role, not someone who's coming to learn. Legally, are the legal systems straight? Do they have the right laws? Do they have the right rules? What are they doing? What are their laws? What laws do they make? Will it impact on your business? What are the legislations for businesses? Environment. What your environment is surrounding. Is it healthy? What's the hygiene principles, sanitation, healthcare, all these kind of things. Your environment will determine that pastel analysis. Some people call it past, some people call it pastel, some people, they've got different ways to call it because they depend on how you structure it. But one thing, with every way they mix it, sometimes people put things like ethics. But with any way you mix it, political is the number one. So whosoever you vote in the election will determine how your business runs, will determine how you operate. They will determine whether there are going to be suppliers' power, barriers to entering, competitive rivalry, whether you're going to get threats of substitute goods. Where are they getting their goods from? Japan? China? Do you have more substitute goods? Sometimes it's good for you to have substitute goods, because if you just have one thing, monopoly is not good. Because when you have monopoly, just one supplier, one people, one businesses that you're going to operate with, well, then it will be hard. Yes, this Simon said, absolutely no wannabe. No, you don't want to wannabe when it comes to politics, when it comes to business and politics. No, you don't want to wannabe, because you want people who've got the experience, people who know the right things, people who've got the right talent, the right experience, the right knowledge to run the government, to run the party. That's what you need. You need the right people to run your country. So you need to invest in it. The only way you can invest in it is to go and vote wisely. So when it comes to things that are uncertainty, I know people will be scared and they might think, oh, we want this, we want it. I'll give you an example. When Labour was in government in UK, We always complain to say, oh, Labour is this, oh, Labour, they're doing this, oh, they're doing that. We don't want Labour, we want Conservative. Now the Conservative are in power, right? People are complaining, oh, Conservative, you don't have enough money, we don't have this, we don't have that. So sometimes we might think we want change. What change do we need? That's what we need to know. What type of change do we need in the country? Do you need a political change, or do you need your attitude change, or a mindset change, or change the way we do things, change the way we do business, change the way we operate? Do we need to change the way we spend our buying powers? What are the things we need when it comes to change? We need to know. We need to know, are we going to change for the better? Because there's no need for you to change until you change for the best. You always need to change for the best. But if you're not changing for the best, don't change. Stick to what you know. Stick to what you have. So that's how it's going to be. And when it comes to things that you need to know, let's get the right things. Let's get the right people. Vote. Your one vote count. If you don't vote, you sit at home, it will not count. Because then you haven't decided on who should govern you. You haven't decided on who should give you all these things that you need to put in place to get this right principle to work in your business. As a business person, you need to determine how you're going to vote. You need to determine what you're going to do. Have they been creating more businesses for you? Then vote for them. If the same people that were in place or in power were creating more businesses for you, vote for them because it's wise. Do what is right. Do the noble thing. Do the right thing. You see, I'm talking to you from Noble Television here. So do the noble thing. Do the right thing. Let it work. So that's how we want to do. And we're trying to see what we want to do and how we'll do it. Put these things into place, put it into consideration, and we will actually be able to get the right government, the right policies, the right legislation, the right technologies, the right infrastructure. Vote wisely. Thank you very much, and I hope you've been enjoying this. I hope you have enjoyed this program so far. So thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to leave you with this today. We're going to leave you with this. If you have any questions, send it. We'll be able to answer you, because your business matters, and you're into business to profit. You're into business to make money. Put your passion into business. Basically, election is part of your passion, because you have passion for who is going to govern you. And you see people leaving their work, people leaving their job to go and rally. If you're going to rally, vote so that you put your passion into business so that it will work well for you. And we know that this will work well, and it will bring a better government, a better system, a better infrastructure, and a better policy. Thank you very much, viewers, for watching. You're watching me live from Noble Television. I am your Noble presenter for today. My name is Bernadette Abu, or call me Bani Abu. Whatever you choose to call me, I'm your Noble presenter for today. Vote wisely. The 7th of March is the election in Sierra Leone. Vote wisely, choose the right people, because the right people will determine what you will do and how you will do it. So thank you very much once again for doing this program, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Send me feedback, whether you enjoyed it or not. Just send me feedback on a message, and I will be able to answer. Thank you, and welcome our viewers. Goodbye.
And as far as Ibeju Lekki have good future, you too can come and plan to have your own company. Refineries under construction, Lagos State Smart City, Lekki Free Trade Zone, and Lekki Deep Seaport is under construction at Ibeju Lekki International Airport. 60 different Chinese companies, Fort Miller